Welcome back. So today let's talk about, briefly as always, about this whole idea. And for those of you that are maybe new to this, I'll give you the really short background version. Myopia is not genetic, right? Myopia is largely a focusing muscle spasm in your eye from too much close-up. I'll link stuff below, read all the science about it. And then if you wear glasses which hide the symptoms, which let you see clearly for a moment, but which in the long run give you progressive myopia, which is very profitable, this can easily turn into a long story. The short version though is focusing muscle spasm, symptom fixed with a lens. That lens causes progressive myopia by a bit of stimulus. I'll link more stuff below. Called hyperopic defocus. In lots and lots and lots of clinical science, pretty well established. You can search Google Scholar, you can look at links below. Basically what happens is you wear the glasses hide the focusing muscle close-up problem, so you can keep staring at screens, you don't have to relax your eyes, guilt-free. And then every year or two, however long, depending on how old you are, depending on various other factors, you need stronger and stronger and stronger glasses. This needing of stronger and stronger and stronger glasses is your eyeball elongating. There is hyperopic defocus, again links below because it's too long of a topic, that light focuses behind the retina in your eye, which is a stimulus that causes your eyeball to elongate because your eyeball has a built-in system to see where the light focuses, and when the light doesn't focus right on the retina, which I'm picturing back here, but behind it, then the eye gets longer. Well known, axial elongation is the key issue and the reason and the way you get progressive myopia, caused by the lenses. Now, it's not so easy to dispute this when you're looking at the clinical facts. And we're not going there in this video because whatever kind of so-called optometry professional you talk to who doesn't know this, not worth talking to anyway. The real intrigue happens in, I say, and I'm not an optometrist, I'm the eye guru, is the eyeball also shortens. That this elongation is not, some people who don't know anything, professionals who are not reading the clinical science, are saying that the eyeball elongation just happens with age. It doesn't. It happens based on stimulus, right? Also pretty clear in medical science. This is also not the intrigue. The intrigue is this elongation goes both ways. The eye also shortens. And what that means is if your eyeball shortens, your myopia decreases. And this is the intrigue part. This is where a lot of the mainstream, why even bother, honestly? But the retail mainstream, not science mainstream, big distinction. There's retail, which are people making money selling you a product, right? And to sell this product that keeps making your eyes worse, they need to say it's not the product's fault. Those are the people that I have an issue with. Science knows, like all the stuff that we're talking about comes from medical science, which we're going to get into in just a second here. The retail people are the issue. Science is not the issue. The retail people don't know much about the science. So let's talk about this intrigue part, where I say the axial length of the eye also decreases, and it decreases as a function of specifically environmental stimulus. So if you cause a stimulus that doesn't make the light hit behind the retina, but on the retina or just slightly in front of the retina, what will the eye do? Yeah, it'll shorten so the light will go right onto the retina again. Am I crazy? I'm going to read you this from an obscure journal called the American Journal of Optometry, which is weird, from 1987. So this is not exactly news. And this is going to be a little tiny bit of a paragraph. I'm going to put it up on screen, so bear with me here. This is well worth reading because this goes at the very core of what, remember, the retail guy says is impossible. And the retail guy is wrong. So here we go. Mechanisms accounting for the fact that the eye tends to become and remain emmetropic, which means seeing perfectly, we call it 20/20, have been proposed for the developing eye, but no such mechanisms have been proposed for the adult eye in the 80s. In a study reported here, refractive component data published by Sorsby and his co-workers were reanalyzed in terms of these variations in these components with age. Important stuff. Included in the analysis are component data for one eye of each of 271 subjects from age 4 to age 70 years, whose ocular refraction was between plano and +2 diopters. The result of this analysis show that the axial length of the eye appears to decrease during the adult life, concurrently with a decrease in anterior chamber depth and an increase in the refractive power of both cornea and the lens. It is proposed that a reduction in the axial length of the adult eye serves as an emmetropizing mechanism occurring in harmony with the increase in the refractive power of the eye, which would otherwise cause the refraction of the eye to move in the myopic direction. Now, what does this all mean? Basically, it means, the really short version is the axial length of the eye has been observed to change based on environmental stimulus. Very simple. Now, what we shouldn't confuse here, and it's like how, you know, religion mixes fact and goodwill with weird ideas sometimes. This is where the weird ideas start. This is where I say that this axial change, your eyeball looking for the right amount of length to see 20/20, what we call 20/20, just simplifying it, can be created by stimulus other than what just happens passively in biology and environment. The same way that minus lenses, glasses, right, cause the axial length to decrease, the opposite, and I'm not saying plus lens therapy, which is in another video, but the opposite can cause the axial length of the eye to decrease. And here we got 271 people in a study ranging from 4 to 70 years old where we can see that this is the case. So there's not much discussion here. The retail people will say this is impossible. And the retail people that say this is impossible are already a small number, because most retail people won't even have this discussion because they don't even understand the 3 steps before this. They don't understand axial elongation. They don't think that minus lenses that you're wearing, that you need stronger ones of every year, cause all the problem. They don't know any of the obvious stuff, right? Science knows, but it's really hard for you to walk into a so-called doctor's office and get this information. You can go on Google Scholar, you can go into the journals that these people are supposed to be reading and find this information. But if you ask the people who are supposed to be reading these journals, they don't know. It's not my fault. These people get mad at me a lot, and they can't do much because I'm not claiming to be an optometrist and I'm not advocating any cures, so they can't do anything much about me pointing out that they're ignorant. I mean, I don't know what else you describe that as. And by the way, I'll link lots more studies below. There's hundreds and thousands of these things that I point out and that you can also find easily online that are all in these optometry journals that say, right, the eye elongates because of glasses, and maybe we'll talk about this in more other videos. And then studies like this, and this is not the only one, also show that the eyeball shortens. And this is kind of where it ends, because can the eyeball shorten based on Endmyopia method and based on Jake's brilliant method is something that I study, that we're working on a study on. I'm still not sure if it's worth publishing or not, maybe. But this is stuff that you can't get funding for because it goes directly against everything that retail optometry stands for. And where does the money come from, right? I mean, if you want to have a study with hundreds of people going over a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, the money has to come from somewhere. And nobody's going to fund a study that says glasses are unnecessary, myopia is a made-up illness, and you can reverse existing myopia. Nobody's going to. And if a study like that did exist, just like studies like the axial length reduction exist, people still won't know about it or care because it doesn't make money. So, wow, that was a high-speed rant. If you're curious, if you're intellectually curious, if you're willing to do the research, if you're willing to understand the biology just a little bit, I'm giving you a lot of clues and pointers and hints of where to look. The rest is up to you, whether you're going to take steps to improve your eyesight, or whether you're going to be a good little blind rat to the mainstream, whether you want to endorse their beliefs or not, is completely up to you. I don't care. I mean, if you look at my YouTube channel, does it look like I care, right? What I care about is the people who are curious and interesting and engaged and are where I used to be. I had -5 diopter myopia. I was really pretty blind and I didn't like it. And I wish there would have been a resource like this that would have said, hey dummy, those guys are selling you a product, right? the whole myopia is genetic thing is bullshit. So that's it. By the way, I screwed up my beard. I did screw up my beard. I played with trimmers, but it'll come back. So, you know. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one.